What's up, lads, and welcome to another video. Here today I want to talk about personal unions. I actually could talk for hours about personal unions and make an infinitely long video, as I think it's a very interesting topic. However, that is extremely long and bloated, and the goal of this video is to be the basic version, talking about the basics and the fundamentals of personal unions for people who do not understand, so that I don't have to address the basics, in my more elaborate, advanced version of my personal union guide. So let's get started. With that being said, you need to claim throne in order to gain a unique casus belli. In order to claim throne, you need to have more prestige, a royal marriage, and the same ruling dynasty. This is the reason I'm using Muscova to actually demonstrate this. As you can see that there are 3 independent nations that share our dynasty, 2 of which do not have an heir in the beginning of the game. And that's really important because it doesn't tell you until you gain a royal marriage, but they need to have a weak claim or no heir in order to be claimable. The prestige issue, easy solution in the beginning of the game. And just like that, because we share dynasty, we have a royal marriage, meaning we are a monarchy. This is not available to theocracies or republics. We share a royal marriage, same dynasty, we have more prestige, and the claim throne is enabled. Upon claiming throne, you will gain a new casus belli, the claim throne casus belli. And the claim throne casus belli will unlock a unique peace deal, which will always cost 84 war score by default. Now, I believe because the war goal is the capital, it will come down by a small amount of war score if you obtain the nation's capital. Okay. As far as the casus belli going away, it will go away as soon as they gain a legitimate heir, which means basically any heir that doesn't have a weak claim will nullify the casus belli. Let's say that in the beginning of this month he did get an heir, which can happen. Sometimes they get an heir very early into the game. Well, if that was the case, you still have the CB until the end of the month. So just be aware of that. When it says you lose a CB, like a rival becomes invalidated as Novgorod gets wrecked by Denmark, for example, and it says you lose the humiliate rival casus belli, you will still have it until the end of the month. And it can make the difference here getting the personal unions. But by simply declaring this war and then quickly winning this war, which, might take a moment actually, depending on the sieges, you can see here that in the peace deal, we have the union with Razan, which costs 84 war score. And the most significant thing about this casus belli, which really makes it intriguing and, good and exciting, the reason that people hold personal unions in high value, or the incentive to hold them in any kind of high regard at all, is because it is pretty much the only way in the entire game that you can legitimately peace a nation out who is larger than 100 war score. So we could be fighting a nation who has 1,000 war score, and you can still piece them out for, less than 100% war score. You can still completely eliminate them and subjugate them in one foul swoop by using this casus belli. Now, remember, in terms of the world domination, aka a world conquest, the achievement world domination, any subject apart from a tributary counts. It counts. So a direct subject counts towards the world domination. And the main benefit for a personal union, if people are wondering, for the record, because we attack somebody with a royal marriage, it does cost you 1 stability. You can try to cheese that. If they really hate you, like you insult them and stuff, they will potentially cancel the royal marriage. However, that does come at a consequence where you're risking the ability to, if you insult them and then they gain an heir, your claim goes away, you can't declare war on them now because you just insulted them before the end of the month. So it's best to play safe. If you really want the union, go in, and there it is, the personal union. So those are the basics. One of the major advantages to having a personal union is the fact that you cannot fall to a succession crisis, guys. You cannot fall to a succession crisis when you have a personal union. That's how the game works. So Typically, in this case, we share dynasty with these nations, and upon ruler death, we would probably, look, I'll royal marriage them even. You would typically have a succession crisis, but we simply get a noble because you cannot fall to a succession crisis when you have your own personal union, which means in a serious game, even a small, humble personal union like this has its benefits, as especially as the game goes on and you start racking up prestige, you can just farm a really good heir, and if you're rolling bad heirs, what's the worst case scenario is that you get a random roll heir with bad legitimacy. It's better than having a 1-1-1 or something like that. You can safely re-roll your heirs throughout the course of the game and not worry about a succession crisis. Those are the basics. I hope it benefited you. If you guys are interested in a more advanced version of personal unions, not talking about the basics, but very sophisticated stuff, let me know in the comments below. I'd really appreciate it. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and make sure to support me with the join button if it's within your means and you think the content is worth it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this benefited you, and I'll see you in another video.